and that's why Lucy left.
Yeah.
Because she knew that from the beginning. Because once she realized that he liked killing other people, he sold Josh out. Like being in a relationship with him was not going to bring her anywhere.
Yeah, and I think it's also like the trust. I think she also emphasized throughout the movie that she needed somebody that she can trust and that is loyal, especially because they come from two different worlds, right? He's
Yeah,
from the capital and she's from the district, versus she didn't know if his loyalty was going to be still for the capital because
yeah.
he grew up there, right? So his
Mhm.
loyalty is like questionable. So I think that's also like the trust was a huge issue. But also, I don't know. I think they rushed the relationship in the movie because
Yeah.
it
No,
didn't feel like it. I didn't
no.
really see a connection. I felt like it was
I
very rushed.
no, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't think the romantic connection between young Captain Snow and Lucy was rushed. I think it was natural. I think it was authentic. My
Hmm.
thing with they chose to me the wrong person to play Lucy. Welcome to the We Bench podcast. My name is MJ.
And my name is PK.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about all the TV shows and movies that we've binged and everything in between. If you're the second, if this is your second time listening to our podcast, your second episode, then please do hit that subscribe button. We are trying to reach 100 supporters, 100 of you guys by the end of this year. I know if this is your first time, we may have to establish some trust, and don't worry, you'll learn to love us. PK, how you doing?
Not too bad. Just working like the usual. And how's life going for you?
Let me tell you. First of all, I am I am wrecked. I am wrecked. I'm down here for U.S. Thanksgiving. It's been really good. I spent the entire Thanksgiving. I spent like 6 hours cooking. First of all, if you are living in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving. But for me, I spent like 6 hours on that day cooking, made 3 or 4 dishes, including a turkey, side dishes, made a dessert. We ended up eating. It was good. It was not as great as I thought it would be, but it was good. We'll try and improve next year. And then last night we went out, and the night before that we went out meaning partying, clubbing. And clubbing in downtown Boston is actually really expensive. The entrance fee is like $40, $30. Last night we went and I'm exhausted. It looks like we might be going out tonight, but there's
Wow.
actually gonna be like a little surprise for my sister
Ooh,
this evening. So we're planning on that, and it might be really fun. So, but the thing is, my flight back to Canada or back to Buffalo, where I'll then pick up my car to go back to Canada, is in 12 hours. So yeah, I am basically going to party with them for like a few hours. I'm not going to do the whole of the night thing, and then wherever we end up going, I'll bring my suitcase with me, and then I'll probably end up going to the airport from wherever we end up going. Um, it has been a crazy 3 to 4 days, but I'm so thankful to be with family. Oh, barbaro. So thankful to be with family and to really celebrate, Thanksgiving and to reconnect with all of them. I really do miss them. And as I always say, I really do. I really wish I was able to move down to the US, and one day hopefully I could, you know?
yeah. Sounds like fun, but also sounds like a super tight schedule. But I'm sure you'll have lots of fun. You always have like so much fun on your states trips. So compared to here in Canada. But it's a different lifestyle there, and it does seem like it's very fun over there too.
It is very, very fun. I love it so much. I mean, I always tell people if anybody were to ask me which one is better, US or Canada, I would say US 100 times because there are more opportunities, greater education, there's, greater chance for career advancement. The food is better. Like everything is better. Culture is better, in my opinion. I would say Canada is really good if you want to go skiing or if you want a vacation. But in terms of living these days, like the price of living is just so
Mhm.
expensive in Canada that people my age really do not have the opportunity to even own homes. It's very normal for people my age to be still living with family. While in the US, people my age and younger are owning homes, owning multiple homes in the US because they're not that expensive here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely different. I know you have the perspective since you have been living in the States as well as going back to the States for family trips. Whereas
Hmm.
I don't really have that perspective, but I definitely do want to visit the states, and that's definitely on my bucket list. But yeah, I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that you're having fun on your trip.
Yeah, have
But
you
yeah,
you've never visited the United States? You never visit US at all?
no, I haven't. I
You're
actually haven't.
serious? Not even
Yeah, no,
work, not even.
no. We were gonna go to a research conference in the States, but
Mhm.
then since COVID happened, every all of my like travel conferences got canceled. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I don't know. I'm definitely gonna try to visit the States, but there's so much like different cities in the States that I don't know. There's definitely a lot of cities that I want to visit, but yeah, I haven't got a chance yet. So
That's crazy. Yeah, New York is like the best time. No, the holidays is the best time
oh,
to visit.
actually, I did go to New York, but it was a layover. So it was
Ah,
a few hours. I was in New York, and then we
mhm.
went to India. So it wasn't a direct flight to India. So there was that layover gap. So we spent a few hours in Times Square.
There you go. And how was that?
Yeah, it was like a 2 hour trip, but it was fun. It was definitely, yeah, there was a lot to see. We couldn't do much because we only had like 2 hours.
Right.
So we just like walked around in the square. We had some food, but otherwise, I don't really count that as a trip, but
Yeah,
that's
of course.
about
I count it as a
how much
trip
I
too.
got.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't count it as a trip too, but if I had 2 hours to be in New York, I would first visit Times Square. I would eat a New York
Yeah.
slice. I would buy some New York bagels. I would visit the park, the famous park in New York. I forgot what that
Um,
is called, but that famous park. I would
But
also
there was so much traffic. It took us like almost an hour to get into Times Square. And
yeah,
then we had to take another hour. So that kind of also, it didn't really give us much chance to explore anywhere else in New York. So
yeah. But
yeah,
I would do the subway. I think the subway is faster, so it may be. I know getting into the city, you may have to um take use a car, but getting into the city, you could actually take a bus or a subway. But again, as a new timer, you probably don't even know that.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, New York is good. What are the cities you want to travel to? Like I would say New York. I was like the popular cities, right? Popular cities like Washington D.C., Miami, L.A., New York,
Yeah.
Charlottetown, Charleston. I
Definitely
think
like
also
LA, Cali, Las Vegas, Florida, kind of those like big cities.
Dallas. Yeah, those are. Florida is a state, not a city.
Oh, sorry.
Miami is a city in Florida.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. See, I don't even know like, the geography of the states, but I know there's like a lot of cities and states, but
It's a lot of cities
um
there.
yeah, it's different from the Canada, right?
It's
Very
very definitely different. Like what people don't know, like in Canada, like the geographic area is quite. There's a lot of land in Canada, but there's not a lot of people. The population of Canada is the same population as Florida, so it's
mm,
small amount of people. And I would say, even though like our country's like multicultural, I wouldn't say our country's multicultural. I would say certain cities are very multicultural. I would
yeah,
say our country is very predominantly white. And unless you're in Ontario, specifically like Toronto,
Toronto, yeah.
um, that is definitely very, very multicultural. But as you fan out of Toronto, it's very, very white. Even Vancouver,
Mhm.
um,
I feel like
Vancouver,
Vancouver is a little bit more multicultural. I know there's like a lot of immigrants that go to Vancouver, and I know
mhm.
like a lot of family that I have, well, not my family, but my parents' families, or extended cousins or whatever, they live in Vancouver. So I feel like it is getting diversified.
Yes, it is getting a bit diverse, but it's still predominantly white. I know there's certain cities in British Columbia. I think Banff is getting a bit more diverse, but it's a lot of people don't know that it is quite white. And for instance, Drake City is Toronto.
Yeah,
If you want to travel to Canada, I would say definitely Toronto.
yeah,
And then Montreal is also another.
true.
Yeah. So let's get into our next segment, which is our segment where we choose three male characters because we are both straight. Um, no offense, but three male characters who we want to kiss, kill, or marry. So, what are your characters? What's your pitch, PK?
So let's do the Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
Cornelius.
Captain Snow, the main
Yeah,
guy. The guy.
yeah, the guy. So the main guy, I forget
Mm-hmm.
his real name um in real life. What's his name? One second.
Yep. Or you can choose the next guy, and I'll find the name.
Okay, and then the other one is also in Hunger Games. His name
Are you
is,
talking about Captain Snow's best friend?
yeah, so his name is Josh Andres Rivera.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we have Captain Snow or President Snow, Tom Bile. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
So those are two for my show, for my
I'm gonna
movie. Sorry.
choose. So that's great. So I'm also going to choose a character from The Holiday Shift. It is a
Okay.
TV show, which we'll talk about. The Holiday Shift. I would say Varen Sarange. His the character that he plays in the show is called Sam. I would say let's go with Sam from The Holiday Shift. So Sam in The Holiday Shift. Let's describe who he is. So Sam is a very sweet guy. He's like the guy that you can really depend on, rely on. He's a good friend, like a really, really good friend, like a friend you'll have for a lifelong. But he's in love with the main is one girl on in the show, and they grew up together, and then she moved away for school, I believe, and now she's back working in the mall, and he didn't have the balls to tell her that he loved her. So what ended up happening is now she's back, and so now he's trying to figure out a way to tell her that he loves her. But he's like a really, really good, sweet, dependable guy. So that is Sam. How about you want to describe some of your characters?
Yeah, so President Snow, so this is the
Hmm.
younger version of President Snow. Um, so he seems very compassionate and caring for his family. He's definitely wants to provide for his family and take care of his family members. But in the end of the show, you kind of see his like a bit of his true colors in terms of he becomes very more on the evil side, and he starts to support the games and he starts to organize the games as well. So that's what his current position is in the other Hunger Games. So you kind
Hmm.
of see two sides to President Snow, so that's really interesting. And then
Hmm.
the other character is his best friend. His best friend is more very strong on his morals and values. He's
Hmm.
definitely very against the games, and he's against people killing each other. And he definitely wants to support humanity and like the human race. And he's always like saying like, "Oh, we're in the capital, but we're not supposed to be like destroying lives of the districts."
Hmm.
He definitely supports the districts, and he supports just like human nature in general. Like he supports other human beings, and he doesn't differentiate himself from the district's people. So I think he has very strong morals and values. So I think that's a very like that's what how he's portrayed throughout the movie.
Hmm. Okay, so I guess I'll go first in terms of who I would kiss, kill, or marry. I would say um I would marry the best friend of Captain Snow. What's his name?
So his name is Josh Andres Rivera.
So I would marry Josh. I would kiss Sam from the holiday shift, and then I would kill Captain Snow. Here's my logic on that.
Okay.
So Captain Snow is like a psychopath. So I'm not gonna marry that. Sam is he's a really good guy, but I need a man who has some balls and some confidence to get what he
Mhm.
wants. And even though I'm not like a huge fan of Josh in the movie, I do feel like he's the type of guy who would sell me and him to further his cause. And that's why where I think he would be a good partner, but he wouldn't be the greatest partner to rely on, but I would say he would still be a good partner because he has strong morals and values and he has a great personality and he will treat me like a queen. But I don't know if he'll put me first in terms of what he believes in. Like I think I'll be in competition with
Mhm.
what he's trying to prove to the world. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah, actually, I think throughout the movie, he actually is more trustworthy compared to Tom, or yeah, so compared to President Snow.
Mhm.
So he's the one who actually was loyal to his morals and values, and he never strayed away from them. Whereas President Snow, he also wanted to help the district people, but then
Mhm.
he ended up being very like sour, and he ended up organizing the games. So there
Mhm.
was that change in his mindset as well. So I think he has some like trust and loyalty issues, Tom Bio, and that's
Mhm.
what happened with his relationship in the movie as well versus Josh Andress, he died for his cause and he was like loyal and supportive from day one. So I think I would definitely marry him because I know he would be like loyal and trustworthy versus Tom Bio. We didn't really know where his loyalty was. Was it towards the district people or was it towards the capital? So he kept
Mhm.
going like he was kind of like flip flopping between the two. So I
Mhm.
think that's also when I talk about the review, I'm going to talk about the relationship as well. So I think that's just something, a characteristic of this character in the show.
Mhm. So who would you? So you're gonna marry Captain? No, you're gonna marry Josh. Who are you gonna? How about kissing and killing? Who would you kiss and kill?
I think I would agree with you. I would kiss Sam and then I would kill President Snow just because
Yeah.
he turned like sour and evil like so fast. And I feel like it was just weird. I feel like there was like that switch in his mind, but he's not like loyal or trustworthy and he doesn't have a clear like he doesn't have a clear thinking or clear mind about something. Like you're always just like iffy on it. He's always like sitting on the fence. That's what he is. That's what the character is like.
I don't see it like that. I do see it as Captain Snow or the younger version of Captain Snow because I did watch the movie.
Yeah.
He's a to me he's very controlling and he's a psychopath. If it doesn't go his way,
Mm,
he will make it so it goes his way. I love Josh.
yeah.
Let's go over Josh. I love Josh. But the thing is, he follows his morals and his values to a fault. It was quite clear you're in District 12. You don't do the things that you're planning on doing. If you are, you will die. And I honestly, I'm in the middle. I stand in the between the middle of like Captain Snow and Josh's morality, let's say, and their
Mhm.
value system because yes, I do believe that we should help these people, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to kill myself to do that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to risk my life to do that. And was willing to do that, even though, like, for some reason, he didn't wrap his head around it. Like, he was still surprised that he got caught. But then again, he didn't get caught. Like, Captain Snow, sold him out.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like you were going to get caught regardless. He still doesn't understand that, like, you're going to die if you do this, which doesn't make sense. So he's I don't like his belief system. Like there's tons of faults with it,
Yeah.
and he's acting as if he's working in a vacuum when you're not in a vacuum. Your actions have consequences. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think he definitely wasn't able to take action, whereas President Snow took so much action, so much thinking involved, whereas he's very like impulsive. I think
Hmm.
he doesn't think, he just acts. Like he's acting the right way. Yeah, he's not doing anything wrong, but there's certain ways of doing things to get them done. And that's
Yeah.
what President Snow sees. He sees that it has to be done this way in order for them to do the right thing in the end. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh is too impulsive. He's not very like he doesn't think it through versus President Snow is like very analytic and he thinks about every step and what the consequences are going to be and what the end goal is. But then he started like switching up real quick at the end and I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, no, I look. Okay. So on the topic of Captain Snow, like he didn't switch it out at the end. Like at the end, then
Yeah.
you can see how much power is affecting him. You can see how
Mm-hmm.
all throughout the movie it all started when he saw something through Katniss, or the girl who's supposed to be
Lucy
Katniss,
Gray.
through.
Lucy
And
Gray.
so sorry.
Was it Lucy Gray?
Is that yeah, Lucy, who's played by yeah, Lucy Gray, I guess.
Rachel
Rachel, yeah, Rachel, forgot her name.
Ziegler.
Yes, Rachel Ziegler. So Lucy, So like he saw something in Lucy, and then he killed one of the District 12 people. Like you could see in his eyes he liked doing that, or he felt
Mm.
a certain way. And so you can see him progressing into a like a slow like a psychopath. And he
Yeah.
has a huge white savior complex. Like he wants to save everybody. This girl that he's falling in love with, Josh, his sister, like he wants to save. You cannot save everybody, and he thinks that it's his duty and responsibility. And that's why Lucy ran away, because he's going to control her. Like he it's either his way or the highway. Like
Yeah.
there's no middle ground with him. And that's where it's super toxic. And even being such a romantic relationship is extremely toxic. And that's why Lucy left.
Yeah.
Because she knew that from the beginning. Because once she realized that he liked killing other people, he sold Josh out. Like being in a relationship with him was not going to bring her anywhere.
Yeah, and I think it's also like the trust. I think she also emphasized throughout the movie that she needed somebody that she can trust and that is loyal, especially because they come from two different worlds, right? He's
Yeah.
from the capital and she's from the district, versus she didn't know if his loyalty was going to be still for the capital because
Yeah.
he grew up there, right? So his
Mhm.
loyalty is like questionable. So I think that's also like the trust was a huge issue. But also, I don't know. I think they rushed the relationship in the movie because
Yeah.
it
No,
didn't feel like it. I didn't
no.
really see a connection. I felt like it was
I
very rushed.
No, I didn't. I didn't think there was a romantic connection between young Captain Snow and Lucy was rushed. I think it was natural. I think it was authentic. My
Hmm.
thing with they chose to me the wrong person to play
Mm.
Lucy. First of
Yeah,
all, she looks 5 years old in the movie. Number two, she looks very vulnerable. Number three, she can't fight. She
yeah,
can't save. She can't hurt. She can't do anything to save her damn life.
I know.
I'm like, you had an abusive ex who's dating the mayor's daughter. You're in this thing now where you're having young Captain Snow save you for every little thing that you get yourself into, and you're reckless. So you can't. You're not going to learn how to fight. You're going to expect everybody to save you. That's the craziest thing about this character, because at least in the first Hunger Games, Katniss, the girl who played Katniss, which was what was her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
She knew how to fight.
Yeah,
She knew how to use a bow and arrow.
yeah.
She knew how to do a lot of things. So like
I
this Katniss looks like hopeless. She looks scared.
yeah,
She looks. I mean, I get it. Like we all scared. We're human, but like
yeah. I think
you
they
know.
had that kind of character in the other movies too, like the other Hunger Game movies. It was Peeta. Peeta was kind of like that character, like that helpless character.
Hmm.
Whereas like Katniss was the one that was doing most of the work, was very like knows how to fight and everything. So I definitely liked Katniss Everdeen. So Lucy Gray is no Katniss Everdeen, like no, not even close. And I think that's what was missing in this movie because I really liked Katniss's character, and I wish they had some type of similar character in this prequel as well.
There was too much white male energy. Like I
Mm.
didn't understand. Like, oh my god,
Yeah,
Katniss is scared. Let me help you. Oh my god. President Snow then comes in, like sends water bottles, and President Snow like puts scents inside the
yeah,
snack feed, and then I'm like, bro, put up your fist. Let's fight, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't. I get it. Like, it wouldn't be realistic, but you live in a world where your district is like you're
yeah,
treated like a pariah. Like
yeah.
if you don't know, like you and your family and your lineage have been roaming the earth singing and gathering food from the wild. I honestly thought you would learn how to fight. She's like, to me, she's too helpless. And I can't get behind the way they created this character. Like it's just
Mhm.
like in 2023 as an independent woman, bro, like even if a woman walks in the street by herself, she has mace. She
Mhm.
has something with her to protect. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I feel like the character was very like one note. Like there was no like dynamics. There was nothing that was like diverse, and all of the characters were a little bit one note, and it was mostly
yeah,
President Snow doing a lot of the work and
Yeah.
a lot of the development in his character, whereas the
Mm-hmm.
other characters, I don't think they were fully developed throughout the movie. It was very
Mm-mm.
one note, like they didn't change at all, and I'm
Even
like,
You're right. Even Josh is like, I want to save everybody. This is wrong. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, your father is the president. Like, how about you talk to your father who actually has power? What are you talking about, bro? Like, your father controls the entire capital.
yeah,
And instead we're seeing your father pull strings to go for you so you can fight in the army. Your father is the president of the capital.
my
I
God,
don't I didn't get it. Like I didn't understand that. I
yeah,
didn't understand it because you're right. Josh was very one note. There
yeah,
was no other. There was no other other part of his personality or character for us to cling on. It was
yeah.
just it's just like, oh, I'm the martyr. I'm the martyr. I'm gonna save us all by killing myself. Like I'm gonna save them by killing me. And I'm like, bro, ain't that serious? Put some brain into it. Like
Like this movie was very like missing the Hunger Games energy and the
element.
vibe, you know? I did not feel that Hunger Game vibe that I get from like Catching Fire and the first one. Because I rewatched Catching Fire as well, and I was like, holy shit, this
Oh,
movie's amazing. Whereas like
yeah.
the prequel is like, it's it's okay.
It wasn't like, but I get it because it's the prequel. Because as time goes on, it gets
Yeah,
really the games get more advanced, right? So that's why
right.
like Catching Fire was like the games were incredible, and I'm sure as generations, grew, as generations went on, I'm sure families in the districts, District 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, whatever, are teaching their children learn how to fight just in case you
Right.
get picked for the games. And
Hmm.
maybe, but then again, the games were still going on, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I just
It
feel
may
like there wasn't that much character development that I wish it had,
no.
because a lot of the characters are just like the same throughout the entire movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not that interesting. Like I feel like some parts were just dragged out and it was a little bit longer than it should have been. I don't know. It was very like it was just missing something. After I
There
watched
were
it, I'm like, what was missing? I don't know. Something was missing.
I there was a bit more I think what Lucy did, like the singing, like her voice is
Mm-hmm.
incredible. I think those parts definitely caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
The games were interesting, like the plot of the games were interesting. Um, you're right, the characters are really one note, but overall, like, so surprisingly enough, I liked the movie because when I first entered the movie, my expectations were low because I was
Mm-hmm.
hearing a lot of bad reviews about it. But once I watched it, it was good. Like I would say it's like a 7.5
Wow,
out of 10.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
say a
I would
six.
say, yeah, I would say, but then again, I didn't, I'm not, because here's how I look at it. I'm looking at these movies as like they're trying to reintroduce this franchise to the younger generation, Gen Z. And that's what we've been seeing a lot lately.
Mm,
We've been seeing a lot of movies and TV show remakes, or they're revolutionizing some franchises and introducing it to the new generation. That's what's happening with Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters movie that's coming out, I believe, next year. A lot of the characters are younger. A lot of the characters, the older characters are older. A lot of them have children in the movie. So the new characters are the new Ghostbusters, and they're going to be fighting the ghosts. So that's a trend right now, is introducing a lot of old, really good franchises, well established ones, to the new generation. And I thought that's what this movie was about. And making this prequel its own franchise separate from the Hunger Games. Like I'm thinking, yes, it's connected, but it's its own thing. You know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like that makes more sense to see it from that perspective.
Hmm.
Because if you're looking at it from another perspective of like, oh, this has to be a part of the Hunger Games, and the Hunger Games movies are like really, really good. So the expectations that I had were super high for this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think I should have looked at it your perspective and like kind of lowered my expectations, because it did not meet my expectations. And I'm like, what am I watching?
No, no, exactly. So that's why if you're watching, that's the thing. So go watch the movie, guys. I recommend it, but do not think like it's gonna be the Hunger Games. It's something different for the new generation.
Yeah.
Um, like for instance, there were people who identified as, you know, LGBTQ in this movie. There were actors who were actually, you know, I believe they're trans in real life, and they're playing, you know, women characters, which is incredible. For instance, Captain Snow's sister, I believe, is trans in real life.
Oh yes.
She's the
Hmm.
also plays the actor in Euphoria. So there is that type of element. So to reintroducing it and connecting at 2023, but it's still lacking a lot of things. But I still think it's good. How would you rate a PK out of 10?
I would rate it a 6 just because
Mm.
I didn't enjoy it that much. I think it was okay, but it didn't live up to the hype.
Mm. I definitely get it. I definitely get it. And I'm seeing it from your perspective, but I think a lot of movies and TV shows right now, they're doing a whole thing. Like for instance, like look at I don't know if you know about this, but I'm a 90s baby. So I grew up with a lot of early 2000s stuff, late 90s. But you know the Good Burger series? Welcome to the Good Burger. Hello, welcome to the I can't even speak. Welcome to the Good Burger. Home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? Do you know that TV show?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it's played by Keenan and Kel. And Keenan is on SNL, I believe. He's a writer and an actor. And they're coming out with the movie again. They're remaking The Office. The Office is coming off as a spinoff. The Office, with some of the characters from Office, is going to be in there. Fraser has not come out. They're looking into making Friends again. So there are all these type of things that a lot of people do not understand, that they're trying to. I don't know why they're doing it. I think it's stupid. Like we don't have enough creativity in our brains to come up with new concepts, new storylines, new characters, complex
Yeah.
characters, but whatever. Um, I do want to talk about a new show called The Holiday Shift. It is on
Oh,
Roku.
sorry. I
It's
did
a
want
great,
to just add in that I thought the costume designs and the set designs were amazing in the prequel.
I agree.
Amazing.
I agree.
And
I
some of the
agree.
acting, like especially from Viola Davis, her acting was so good.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Brilliant.
I gotta
Brilliant.
say that. Yeah.
No, brilliant.
So good, right? I was just like, oh my God. Her
Yeah,
acting
no,
was amazing.
brilliant. Her acting is was incredible. I don't know who else had
And
really
Peter Dinklage, the dean, the Capitol dean,
the cap.
Peter.
Oh, the short guy. Yes,
Yeah,
the one who dies at the end.
yeah, amazing.
You're on the money. You're on the money. You're right.
Those
No, his
two
acting.
were did like a phenomenal job. Even though they were like side characters, they did an amazing job.
They whatever scene that they were in, they used up all that space in that scene. They used it all up. They were, I would say, so yeah, they the acting was incredible. So you would watch the
Yeah.
movies for those, for the acting monologues for the from those two actors. They're incredible. I completely agree. Anything else?
No, all good.
But overall, like I would say, like go watch it. It's good,
Yeah, me
right?
too.
Okay. So the Holiday Shift, it's a show on Roku. I think it's like a box that you can buy and you connect to your TV, and then you can watch like app like Netflix and other apps on there. But they have their own app called the Holiday. It has its own app called Roku, and you can have Roku now is now making its own TV shows and movies, and it's a TV show based on people who are working in a mall for the holidays. It's funny. It looks like it's like filmed in like a TikTok filter, but it is really interesting. Not interesting at all. I would say it's like a very one dimensional, like mediocre acting, not really great, but it's a good background show if you want something that's like really um like full of holiday spirit, like something to put on in the background that makes like a feel good show. That's what the show is about. It's basically about people who are just working the mall. One of the main characters, Sam, is likes this other girl who started to work in the mall again. Came back from school. It looks like they just graduated from college. And they're all working in the mall, which is actually kind of very relatable in Canada, anyways. Like
Yeah,
going back to college and then like coming back to work at the same spot you didn't think you would be at, but
yeah.
it's life. Um, um, but have you? Okay, do you know the show 16?
Mm, the movie? Isn't there a
16 girl.
movie?
up so fast. Gotta make the good times last. Life begins after school. Just a begin of the rule. A TV show. You can Google it.
Okay.
While you Google, I'll keep singing. A tournament of my friends. We got to be together in the place that we belong. I'm 16, trying to find my way. Gonna
Who's in
get you.
it?
It's an animated TV show.
Oh, okay.
It's brilliant. I would say it's brilliant. I would say if you're looking for an animated TV show that's just like funny, good, relatable, it's very good. Like if you Google it,
Hmm.
everybody's saying it's not new anyways. It's like
Oh,
an,
okay,
an
okay.
early 2000s like late 90s TV show. It's so good. So it's
Oh
16 is
no,
like,
I know it. Okay, I know it. I know
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I know
like
the
that.
one.
It's literally like that, but in real life. But instead,
Oh,
they're working. Yeah, it's so it that that's what it reminds me of. For the viewers on
yeah.
YouTube and hopefully listening on YouTube, guys. This is what 16 looks like, right? And it is so nostalgic. Um, so yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Like you just follow like their lives of people who work in a mall, and everybody. There's some who works at a clothing store, some works in a coffee shop, some works as an elf at the
Mhm.
Santa Claus's workshop. So it's like it's kind of like a feel good, kind of funny type of show. If you're looking for like a holiday TV show to put in the background, something quick
Mhm.
mini series, that's what I would recommend. But yeah, I think that's it from me.
Yeah, that's it for me
That's
too.
it from me. Yeah, I don't know what other like I feel what are we looking forward to watching next week, PK?
Um, I I don't know. I think is what was the Selling Sunset and what was the other show?
Selling OC,
Yeah, I think that's also coming out for next week, right?
is it?
Is it next week? I'm not too sure, but I'm also thinking of watching The Killer.
And I think I might actually start watching. I'm not start watching. Well, I think I'm gonna watch that new Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, I heard good things about that one too.
Really? Maybe okay.
Yeah,
Maybe we should both watch that because that looks interesting.
yeah, I'm down to watch that. I don't know if there's any other reality TV shows that are coming out.
Well, there's the Love Island games that my sister's obsessed with right now.
Oh yes, yeah. A lot of people are watching that right now. I think that's super popular. Also, I think there's a Squid Game challenge, the new season.
Yeah. I saw that too. I don't know if I'm gonna watch that. Seems like a lot of work from me,
I
to
might
watch that.
watch that because I did enjoy the other seasons,
Hmm.
so I might be watching that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think. Oh wait, I think the Selling OC season might
Mhm.
drop. Um.
Is it this week or
Oh,
next week?
the Selling the OC season 2 release date. Actually, I actually don't know.
Mm,
Never mind. I don't know. Anyways, we'll figure that out, and you guys just have to stay tuned when we're watching next in the next couple of weeks. But we always end up talking about it this time next week, which is Sunday or Monday. Every single week, we drop a new episode on YouTube, and we are now going to be posting audio versions of this on wherever you are listening. We'll try and leave a link in the YouTube description down below. But as always, if this is your first time, please do hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And hopefully, we gave you guys some suggestions on what to watch in this upcoming week. But if not, we'll talk more about it next week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
bye.